guys some time to get in. Should be able to find it now because I'm live. All right. Okay, check the volume. Frank Stockton. Shalom, shalom, brother. Shalom, shalom. Hey, do me a favor. Give me 100 if you can hear the volume just fine. Awesome, awesome. Good, 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 good. Yeah, I wanted to get somewhere where it was kind of quiet and you can hear me and stuff like that, so I don't have to yell. So I want to get some good Wi-Fi because where I am now, I'm getting the Wi-Fi situation taken care of. Thank you, thank you. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And a lot of times people say that my face is cut off or something like that. I know the steering wheel is right here, but I'm in the frame. Let me just ask like that. Am I in the frame? Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, all right. Now the focus. Okay, cool, cool, cool. The focus really going to be about prepare and pray. It's about prepare and pray. So I'm going to be looking in Revelation because one of the things I notice is that the Most High He uses natural phenomena. Now we know it's the Lord doing it. If the Lord Shabbat Shalom, brother Rainer, Shabbat Shalom, and blessings to you and your household. Same thing for you, brother Stockton. Blessings to you guys. But what we notice is that the Lord, He can use natural phenomena. We know we have a hurricane, earthquake, things like that. We know that, it's the Most High, doing it. Obviously, it can be explained, through science and stuff like that. And, I don't want people to think that we don't, we don't know how these phenomena work. But sometimes He steps outside of the natural, and He does something supernatural. But I want you guys to notice when it comes to seals, trumpets, and bowls or vials, judgments, and things like that. A lot of times He uses things that sustain our life. And if we look at a lot of natural phenomena from around the world, like when He was talking about, earthquakes in diverse places and the increase of these earthquakes and these tribulations is like birth pains. And we all know with birth pains, sometimes the contractions, they get stronger and more frequent because we know something is about to be delivered, right? Something's about to come to pass. In the case of a child's about to be born. Yeah, let's keep brother Chris in our prayers and everything because he's about to have a kid. He's about to have a baby now, and I think Sister Zion, she's due at any moment. She's due at any moment, and then on the heels of that, another week or two, he's gonna have his second, another child. I'm sorry, not his second child, but another newborn, I should say. So let's go ahead and keep them that way. They have no problems, no complications. We wanted to, the Lord's will to have its way out here. And again, I'm sorry for that last live stream. I mean, I was driving, so it was a lot of buffering. So I said, you know what, I need to be at a standstill. I need to, instead of going off my data, just go off, a strong Wi-Fi. So I had to come somewhere with a good strong Wi-Fi. I do have data, but it didn't do anything for the buffering. So let's just keep that in mind. No, brother, I'm not still in H-Town. I am back in Arizona for now because I have some business I got to take care of here. I got to wrap some things up before I move, to the Ozarks. Before I move there, which I'm still gonna move early 2020. February, March, sometimes something like that. Early 2020. That can't get here fast enough. But yeah, I just got back, knocking out some stuff here. I told you guys I had some land here that I'm selling. Should be closing on that. Contracts on it and everything, but I wanted to close. And when I leave Arizona, I want it to be done. Just that's it. I got stuff in storage I need to get out. So when I'm ready to move and sell the land, I think that's probably about it. That's about the major things that needs to be done. So I want to take care of that. But if we look at a lot of current events, in fact, I mean, I could just Google headlines, and it's just a ton of stuff. I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look up earthquakes. Earthquakes. Oh, well, one says earthquakes today. Let's see if there's any earthquakes today. I wasn't gonna do that. I was just gonna say 2019. Today's earthquake, the biggest earthquake today of 5.9 in Sola, Torba, Vanuatu this week. 5.9 in Sola, Torba, Vanuatu this month. It's a 7.1 in Bentut, North Sulawesi, Indonesia this year. Lagunas, Loreto, Peru. That's an 8.0 on a Richter scale. That's huge. Earthquakes today, latest earthquakes worldwide during the past 24 hours. The past 24 hours. Let's see here. Wow. Talking about some diverse places. In Italy, Indonesia, Iranian Jihad region, Dominican Republic, New Zealand, Tanimbar Islands. All this is places, some places where we had never even heard of. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on in that. Let me get, okay, let's see. I'm just going to put 2019. Okay, earthquakes 2019. Okay, Bosnia, Albania, Alaska, Thailand, Russia, Mexico, the Philippines. I mean, a lot of earthquakes, and the frequency is like picking up, right? So, like I said, I'm just gonna focus on, just kind of delivering, information. Now, what you do with the information is completely up to you. But I'm looking at total fatality. Okay, in Peru, the strongest magnitude for 2019 is an 8.0 on a Richter scale. And talking about in Peru, of course, that's high, guys. And total fatality 274. Albania 51 deaths. So it's getting crazy, right? So you're gonna have more of that, and the frequency is gonna pick up. And if we look up, so that's earthquakes, right? So let's look up famine. Let's look up famine 2019. Let's see what that says. This is just a Google search right there. Fire, floods, and famine. Okay. Food insecurity and famine as World Health Organization. I'm just looking at the headlines. South Sudanese facing famine in all but name, warns UN Food Agency. That's UN News. Over 820 million people suffering from hunger. New UN report reveals stubborn realities of, okay, finish that. Africa, hunger, famine. Wow. Famine threatens South Sudan due to drought, floods, and political instability. Catastrophic flood could provoke famine in South Sudan. So South Sudan is about to have a problem with food. South Sudan is about to have a problem with food. Okay, so there's a lot of plagues going on. I just looked at, just famine, earthquakes, famine. What about crop failures? Crop failures 2019. Let's see what happens. U.S. crop failures in 2019. Shocking before and after photos. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Bloomberg's. Okay. Crop. World food supply under severe threat from loss of biodiversity. Okay, this one talks about industrial food and climate change. What if several of the world's biggest food crops fail at the same time? Okay, that's just kind of a question it's asking right there. 2019 crops dying. Okay, you know what? Let's go into that one. Let's take a look real quick, and then we'll get into some scripts in a minute here. Okay, with Midwest flooding and drought from India to Australia drastically reducing 2019 crops, expect higher food prices for food and worse future shocks. With the summer solstice now past, farmers around the world are facing a disastrous year. Climate change is starting to take a real toll on food production. Harvests are in danger of failing due to the floods, droughts, storms, disease, and general chaos that signed to the 2009 be a hard hazard fertilizer deliveries to American farmers. By May, farmers were torn. Should they plant the 2,000, let's see here, 2,000 crops, knowing that they could lose everything, or should they throw in the towel and give up? Taking to Twitter, they documented their flooded and barely planted fields with the hashtag #NoPlant19. It's crunch time. Farmers who plant after a certain date are ineligible for crop insurance, and more critically, crops planted too late will not have time to mature by the time winter comes. If it's not in the ground now, it probably won't happen. I did an experiment. I was trying to my Shai and I, we were doing a if you guys saw some earlier videos here where we kind of rented a little garden plot or whatever, and we knew we were planting late. I think we were planting, what were we planting? Some spinach and some, not spinach, what were we planting? Okra?
We were planting okra and squash.
Yeah, we planted some okra and squash, but we knew it was a little late in the season by like maybe 2 weeks late, 2 weeks after when you should plant, stuff like that. Anyway, and so they kind of sprouted, they budded a little bit, and then it just died. It was just a little bit too late. Obviously, the farmer who was trying to teach us farming, said that it may happen, and she said it's a little late, it's a little late, but we'll see, we'll try, we'll see what happens. So it did at least sprout a little bit, but then
they were doing good, and then we were near a tree, and the roots of the tree took our water.
The roots took, okay, yeah, we were near a tree, so it could not survive. It was struggling for nutrients a little bit. The tree was taking the water from it, or whatever. So peace, love, and joy. Shabbat shalom, Danny Williams. Shabbat shalom, brother. Shabbat shalom. I hope everybody's having a good shalom. So yeah, I'm just let me see. It's a little bit. Oddly, Trump's USDA is predicting an abundant harvest this year. How can that be? The devil, it turns out, is in the details. In May, after the 12th wettest month on record in standing water preventing planting in American fields, the USDA explained, weather is a critical detriment of crop yields, but at this stage in the year, it is impossible to know how the weather will turn out during the critical phases of the growing season. So we assume normal weather and yields that follow long-term trends reflecting technological progress and historic productivity growth. Indeed, it's always easier to predict the desired results when you ignore observed reality. Exactly. You can't trust. I mean, the government says stuff, and hey, it's up to you guys. You guys form your own opinion. The advantage to a global marketplace is that crop failures in one area can be mitigated by abundant harvests from other places, and potential buyers can pay for them. So, what outlook like for planting crops and agricultural production internationally? In Europe, drought and wildfires this spring led to disease and pest infestation, and June hailstorms severely damaged crops in France. India having a severe drought. Chennai's 4 major water reservoirs have run dry. Wow. And parts of northern India, home for 200 million people, have withered under temperatures as high as 51 degrees Celsius or 123 Fahrenheit for American readers. Okay, so 51 degrees Celsius is 123 Fahrenheit for us Americans. China is facing an invasion of fall armyworms that is spreading around the globe tropics, destroying grain and other crops. Meanwhile, Africa's swine fever, likened to pig Ebola, is ravaging the Asian pig industry, killing almost every animal it affects. China alone may lose 200 million pigs by the end of the year. Australia, 2018 and 2019 drought was the worst on record, with animals dying in the field. So guys, I'm not going to read, this is a really long article. Anyway, and it is from legalreader.com if you guys want to go find that. So it's pretty bad, okay? This is pretty bad, okay? And so that's what I was looking at right there, okay? That's the article that I was looking at. It's pretty bad. So at any rate, guys, all we can do is prepare and pray, because a lot of people, part of their prep when they want to pray and they want to when they want to prepare, they want to come out of her my people type of thing. Some people, they want to run to the Sinai Peninsula. They want to run into Africa. They want to run into the wilderness like us or whatever. And my only thing is that if it's going to be, if the world is moving into a one world government, then you're going to be affected everywhere. Now, I'm not saying that there's no merit to moving abroad or something like that. There is merit, but there's merit with staying here, you know, if you just get to a place of safety. You go to somewhere else, you know, you got to learn their laws. You got to, you know, you got to go by their rules. You got to do, you know, you have to do what you got to do, obviously. And you got to know your rights and know what you can do. Will you have an opportunity to start a business and generate an income? How long will it take you to gain citizenship? And some of you guys have answers to that. Okay, some people already have the answer to that. Some people already done their research and they're ready to go. Okay, they're ready to go. Just remember, when you leave off these borders, you know, there's a different set of rules. Okay, you can't go anywhere else and be like, well, I'm American, you know, and I have a right to no. They don't go by your constitution here, you know. Hell, half the time, you know, our leaders here don't go by the Constitution. So another country don't give two flips about Constitution and your rights and all this other stuff. You don't. I got a right to a phone call. Not another country. You better figure out the rules. You better figure out the rules. It don't work. It does not work like that. Okay, so you just got to figure it out. Again, I'm not saying it's good, bad. Everyone make their own decision. Okay, you make your own decision. But yeah, I have thought about going abroad. Shalom, Michael Rivera. You know, yeah, I've thought about that. In fact, a little plug. He didn't even ask me to do it or anything like that. But if you guys heard Ron Dalton Jr., you know, he's the one who has the documentary, you know, Hebrews to Negroes. And I bought two of those. I haven't watched them yet, but I am gonna watch them. I just received them, and so I am gonna watch them. But at any rate, in January, he's going to have a conference over in Michigan. He's going to have one in Michigan. So you got to go thenegronetwork.com to get more details. But he's going to have a conference, and he has a lot of people from Africa coming in, a lot of people who have dual citizenship. And, you know, these are part of Israel. They're part of Israel, the natural line, you know, Israel. They just happen to be over in Africa and stuff like that. And then they're going to set up I guess some help. We're gonna have some workshops that's going to discuss all the things you need to know if you plan on gaining citizenship in Africa somewhere. All right, so that's what that conference is going to be about. It's about preparing, and if you're serious, because they're talking about like starting businesses and things like that. I mean, it's a whole new, you know, just a whole new way of life. Either going over there permanently or dual citizenship or whatever. But all that's like in January. 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. 2 or 3 days in January, early January. So he's going to have that. So if someone is interested in moving abroad and you know, and that's how they want to come out of her, my people, then hey, go check that out. Okay, so I'm not poo-pooing on anything. I just know that everyone's not going to do the exact same thing, period. You know, some people are just going to move out to a very rural place somewhere here in America, and that's up to you guys, you know. But that's what you have to decide, you know. You know how we are, we the set apart ones, you know, we just talk about come out of her, you know, get the job done, do what you have to do to get it done, and get out. So that's what it's all about for us, you know. That's what it's all about for us. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into some of these scriptures because I want you guys to see where I'm coming from for some of this. So I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Okay, we're gonna read some of this. So we're talking about seals, trumpets, and bowls or vials, you know, right? But and some people, before I even get into it, and I don't want to get into a theological, you know, back and forth or anything like that. Let me just say at the outset, some people think, you know, all these things happen one at a time, right? Each seal being open one at a time, right? And then some people think that all of them, the seals, the trumpets, the bowls, everything happening at the same time. Okay, that's fine. You know, I think it happens one at a time, but some people think it's all happening at the same time. Some people even say that it's basically like all the same. It's kind of like all the same. you know, that really there's no difference in those. Shabbat Shalom. I just discovered this. It was on my, oh, all right. Shalom, Shalom, Carrie Thompson. Shalom, Shalom, sis. But yeah, some people, they think it's, you know, it's the same stuff, you know, it's really the same stuff. You don't really have to, you know, and I don't subscribe that it does this. Some things are similar, you know, in trumpets and judgments and stuff is, you know, it can be more the same. But anyway, you guys decide, you know, I'm not trying to go in the back and forth, you know, that kind of thing. It says in Revelation 6:1, it says, and I saw, you know what? I don't want to struggle. Let's just do that. He said, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Okay, so this is not the Lamb. Okay, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So now look at what's going on. We see that war has entered in, things like that. It can start way back in 70 AD. Okay, first calamity. But since then we have calamity. But since then we have war after war after war after war. If you just look up wars and the frequency of wars, just Google that. The frequency of war since the 1st century. Okay, and look how many wars. The skirmish, big wars, small wars, medium wars. Okay, just look that stuff up, and it's just more and more and more and more. Okay, it's all war. Okay, and verse 5, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and there that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Pair of balances in his hand. Okay, usually that's like an economic symbol. Okay, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, so we're talking about an economical thing right here. Okay, and when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard a voice of the 4th beast that said, come and see. And look, and I behold a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death, and hell followed with him. So a lot of people died. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. Okay, so everything. So 1/4 of the earth. So a lot of people have died, if you think about it. Okay, over the last 2 centuries. And I'm saying that because, you know, the Messiah ascended up to heaven, you know, in the book of Acts, you know, in the 1st chapter of Acts. Okay, ascended up to heaven. So things start to unfold and unravel. Okay, things start to unravel at that time. Okay, and when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. Of course, so we know a lot of things died after that time, especially talking about the Messiah. So I'm talking about after the Messiah was after here. Now, of course, there are billions of people have died before the Messiah showed up on the scene. I know, but we're just saying, you know, after the fact, this is when the seals are being opened, right? So I do believe the seals are open and stuff like that. I do believe we're probably around the 5th seal. Okay. Dwell on where did I go? Testimony. Hell. Okay, in verse 10. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Okay. And the white house was given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Okay, so a lot of people were thinking what's taking so long and stuff like that. Hey, it's time. Okay, everybody's gonna go. This tribulation is everyone's gonna get this tribulation. Okay, everyone's gonna get it. And the stars of the heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it was rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. and said to the mountains and a rock, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. So, all of this hasn't happened yet because he hadn't come back for them to do that. But I'm just saying things are beginning to unfold, right? Things are beginning to unfold. So not everything has come. Look at verse 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Not many. The only people going to stand, which is going to be just a remnant, is going to be those who are following him, those who are preparing themselves for his arrival, those who are going to be the 5 wise virgins. That's who's going to be able, to stand. But don't get me wrong, even some believers are going to die. Okay, there will be martyrs. Okay, there will be martyrs for those who want to be, set apart and serve him at all costs, at the very cost of their lives. That's what I'm saying. Pray and prepare. You got to prepare, all of us. You got to prepare yourself mentally. You got to prepare yourself physically. You got to prepare yourself emotionally, because there's going to be some dark days. Okay, there's going to be some dark days. But in the midst of that, we'll have the ability to find peace. Peace in knowing exactly what's going on. Peace in knowing that our King is coming. He's coming. He's on his way. Okay, that he's coming. So when this stuff start happening in earnest, you know what's going on. You don't have to be confused. So right now we're seeing signs right now. It's starting to come to pass right now. So I'm just saying it's starting to come to pass. Now I got to jump all the way to chapter 8, okay? Because that's when it starts talking about the rest of the seals, right? So there's a big pause. It goes up to like 5, 6 seals. Then there's a big pause. Chapter 7 doesn't really say anything. Then I got to go to chapter 8, to kind of get some of the rest of it, okay? So chapter 8:1, it says, and when he had opened the 7th seal, okay, so we got like all the way to 6 seals, then a whole chapter 7, is talking about other stuff, right? So I got to get to the 7th seal, I have to go to Revelation chapter 8. That's why I think there's, and you're gonna notice that in the trumpets too, okay? You're gonna notice that in the trumpets where everything is happening, one seal after another, right? Bam, one seal after another. Then there's a big pause, and the narrative starts talking about something else, and then the next chapter, in this case, verse 8, it gets to the 7th seal, right? You're gonna see 1 through 6, okay? Then it's gonna digress on something else, and then it's gonna come back to the 7th one. So there's a pause in it every time. I don't know if you guys noticed that pattern, right? So verse 1, Revelation 8:1, which says, and when he had opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. So now we're starting to get into the trumpets. We're coming out of the seals and getting to the trumpets. And so you guys know what happened with the seals, war, disease, death, hell, all that stuff was kind of unleashed, on earth. So things are going to get way worse before it gets better, right? In verse 3, and another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. So that's why I said we have to pray. Okay, these prayers are going before the Father. Okay, and this prayer, we are praying, one, we are that we have a hedge of protection on us. We also pray that the Comforter, the Ruach, is guiding us, guiding our decisions, guiding our families. Okay, especially us as leaders. So men, we should be praying. We should be praying personally. We should be praying corporately. When the men get together, we should be praying together. Okay, the fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much, right? So we got to keep it going. So we're gonna go ahead and are they open?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it says, and the smoke of their censer. So let me give you a little bit of this right here, guys. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire and altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. Okay, so now we start to get into the earthquake. And in 6, and the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. Okay, so they start getting ready. Okay, like we need to start getting ready. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of the trumpets, and then we're gonna get into the bowls. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and close it out. All right, so verse 7. Okay, the first angel sounded. Now we're in the trumpets, right? Now we're in the trumpets. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees were burned up, and all green grass were burned up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. So this sounds like a meteor going into the sea, right? And the third part of the sea became blood. Okay, so you're killing a lot of sea creatures and things like that. So can't eat that. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea had life, died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of the waters. Okay, and so that's not going to be any good for us. Verse 11, and the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter, so you cannot drink it. Look at the natural things that the Most High is using, right? Very, very natural things that's gonna knock us out. Okay, we think we have all these technological advances and things like that, and a simple EMP, a simple slow solar flare, boom, knock it out. Okay, the Most High, he don't need that stuff. He don't operate like we do. His ways are not our ways. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. Okay, so this thing it's going to be way different. And I beheld and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by the reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. So he's saying you got three more. You think it's bad, and woe is bad. Woe is a calamity. Something's bad about to happen, right? So you have that, and I'm gonna drop down to, let's see, 8 and, okay, let's see, 11. I'm gonna go to chapter 11. Chapter 11 and 15. Chapter 11 and verse 15. I'm just going 15 through 19, and I'm gonna wrap it up for you guys. And the seventh angel sounded. So I had to skip all the way up 2 chapters and get to the seventh angel. It said, and the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdom of this world are become the kingdom of our Lord and his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. So we know that hasn't happened just yet. That's why I know we're not in those, those later trumpets, because that hasn't happened just yet. Okay, so it's just an unfolding of it, right? So we got all our trumpets, and you got big gaps because things are happening in between. That's why I'm not saying it's just one back to back to back to back to back, right? So the last thing we want to look at is chapter 16, and then we will close it out. So this is the last thing we're going to look at, chapter 16. Now, and I heard a voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your way and pour out the vials of wrath of God upon the earth. Okay, so this hasn't happened yet, but look at all the natural things. Okay, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a norsome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So when you submit yourself to the system and just go along to get along, and you try to pull that, oh well, gotta understand. No, he will not understand. You have to strive for the truth unto death. That's why I said you got to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, okay, even financially, spiritually. You got to prepare yourself in all ways. Coming out of her is in all facets. Okay, you got to strengthen yourself, all facets. Okay, so, and worship his image, verse 3. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. Can't eat anything. The water's no good for you. The seafood is no good for you. This aquatic life is no good. They're dying. It's dead. It's nasty. The third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of water, and they became blood. So there's your fresh water. There's your fresh water gone. And I heard the angel of the waters say, thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. Okay, he's saying you're righteous for doing what you had to do. Okay, for they had shed the blood of the saints and the prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy, because they deserve it, is what he's saying. They deserve what's happening to them, right? And I heard another out of the altar say, even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. Okay, so you're right. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. Okay, from the sun. Okay, natural things, right? Natural things. And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of God. Yeah, they were mad, which had power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. See, so you can't feel sorry for these people. What are you feeling sorry for? They wouldn't even repent. They still cursing them and blaspheming them. So you can't even feel sorry for these people. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and the kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the waters thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Meaning he letting them cross. Why? Because Armageddon is coming. He's going to drive, no hindrance. Come down here to the valley of decision, okay? And let's see, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, okay? That's what these unclean spirits are, spirits of devils giving a command, right? Working miracles, which go forth unto the king of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of the God Almighty. See, so now you guys see what's going on. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is that watches and keepeth his garments, walking in righteousness. Keep walking in righteousness no matter what happens, unto death, okay? Walk it and keep it his garments, let he walk naked, okay, found unrighteous, and they see his shame, find that you went against God, you're sinning, okay, you're not in the covenant, okay, that's what he's saying. And he gathered them together into the place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice of all the temple in heaven from the throne, saying, it is done. Okay, and there was voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. So guys, you guys can finish that, you know, yourself, just a couple more verses, you can finish that. I just want to, you know, just say, hey, these are natural phenomenons, you know, they're going to be supernaturally done, you know, by the Father. These things are going to be prepared, right? So whether you're going to go abroad and go somewhere else, this is going to be a worldwide phenomenon, okay? I know we have the wilderness, you know, doctrine and things like that. I get it, but that's not what this live stream is about, okay? So you got to prepare yourself. Whether you're going to stay here in the States or whether you're going to go to another country, you still got to prepare yourself. You still got to be ready mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally. You got to be ready. You got to guard up yourself. And look, when it comes down, no matter what happens, you have to follow and trust Yah. It could cost you everything, but it's going to be worth the cost, okay? Don't fall for this lazy doctrine out there talking about, you know, oh, well, God will understand. I'll just go ahead and, you know, take this mark, or I'll just go ahead because, you know, I got to feed my kids. And you have a chance right now to prepare. That's why I titled this Pray and Prepare. You're praying for guidance. You're praying for the Ruach. Okay, you're praying for the Father to light your steps. Prepare yourself. Get together. Okay, you can each other on the world. Fine. I know some people want to be lone wolves and stuff. Okay, fine. If you do that, that's fine. But others, they say, you know what? I want to be around some brethren so that I can assist them, and we don't get in a desperate situation because we know the game plan. We're going to get together. We're going to be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. So when the rest of the world's going crazy, we are going to be with Yah. That's the ideas, guys. That's the idea. So, hey, that's going to have this, you know, it's just pretty quick. I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with you guys. You know, I want to encourage you guys, okay? Uplift you guys to prepare, pray and prepare, okay? Because a lot of natural and supernatural things are going to happen. We heard a lot of bad stuff over the last few weeks, this whole year, for years. But what it is, it's a warning and an opportunity for us to get prepared while we can. Because there's going to be a time where there's going to be a famine for the word, where there won't be anyone teaching anything. People are going to just be in survival mode. They won't be teaching out to the masses. Nobody won't be on YouTube or not. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a whole completely different ball game. So that's up to you guys as to what you're going to do. It's up to you guys. You need to take this time right now and sacrifice comfort and convenience to get to the next level, to be self-sufficient. That's the order of the day, guys. That's what this is going to be. Like I said, a few months, you'll see me out, you know, help working with the brethren, building, preparing, getting our food preps going, getting everything going. Right now, I'm just giving you the information. I'm giving you information. What you do with it is completely up to you. But I pray that you come out of her, and that you find some people who you can link up with and build your own little ark, if you will. But that's up to you guys. Until next time, I'll get you guys on another video, but stay woke.